Hey everyone, Lauren here and welcome to the April Kits project, and I'm starting with my Traveller's Notebook insert and the printables that are exclusive for subscribers. So this one here is one of the Traveller's Notebook insert printables, and I've just printed it a bit bigger. I've pulled out 4 of these embroidery threads in some pink and a coral colour, and I am going to make different colours on each of those words in the stitching. So I'm just going to show you briefly how I do my stitching. So I'm using my needle here to poke some holes, just sort of every little bit. You can see in a minute, maybe, yeah, you can see now how far the holes are apart. You could make them bigger or smaller. I wouldn't make them like the whole length of the letter because it could pull a strain on the cardstock, but I also wouldn't make them too tight together because you don't want the hole to break because it's next to another hole and form one huge hole. So you can see there, you can also use your die pick or you can get a specialized needle, like it's got a handle on it so that it doesn't hurt your fingers. And I also know one of the Scrappy Sisters, or maybe they both do it, over here on YouTube, they've got a channel. She uses a thumbtack, I'm pretty sure it's her, uses a thumbtack to make her holes. So just threaded my embroidery thread on a needle, and I'm just going up and down, go up from the back, and then you go back through the hole where the previous stitching was, and you form your stitch. So that's a nice easy way to go. I held the end of the stitching until after a few stitches, then it holds itself into place. I didn't want to knot it because you don't want to pull it through, accidentally pull the knot through your cardstock and make a hole. And I'm just going to go. Now the other way I found, and I actually did the rest of the stitching this way, I found it much more quicker, is to go up through the back and then down through the next hole rather than back through the previous hole where the stitching already was. Now this leaves a little, the stitch gap between on the top there, you can see here. But that means that you're just going to go back around the letter once you get to the end of the letter, so that you fill in all those gaps. It just means that you're not going back through the stitching, you're not having to think too much, you're just going up the hole, the next hole, then down the next hole, up the next hole, down the next hole, all the way around, and then you get it done. It also then has less bulk. For some reason, I'm not too sure, maybe because you're looping back, I guess, that it makes more bulk if you're doing the stitching as I did at the beginning. Now hopefully that's clear enough, and if not, leave some questions down below or find me on Facebook in the group and I will explain it further, or make a smaller tutorial kind of video and slow it right down. So I'm just showing you the end of this letter H, and you can see it looks so good and I'm so happy, and I'm like, yep, okay, I'm going to continue with the rest. It did take me a few hours, and luckily Netflix and a alcoholic beverage kept me happy, kept me entertained while I was stitching away on Saturday night. But look, it looks so good in the finished product. So I got this photo here of my son on his birthday last year. Now this Traveller's Notebook insert is of April 2018, and I just printed this on cardstock, on an A4 piece of cardstock, because I wanted multiple photos to be printed, and it's just easier. I actually ran out of photo paper, which is why it's on cardstock. But if you print a grouping of photos on an A4 sheet, you then get your value for your money, I find. Now I also, like I'm pretty sure I said earlier, that this is a Traveller's Notebook insert printable, but I printed it bigger. I was just having to play with the JPEG and wondering how it came out, and just printed it from a JPEG file rather than from the PDF file, and it became a bit bigger. But I, measured as such by holding the insert above it to see if the letters would fit on the page, and they did. So I cut it down after. I kept it as a big page while I was stitching so that it didn't rip or had less chance of ripping, and thankfully it didn't rip. And then I, as you see, cut it down to size. So I was wondering if I wanted to have it behind the plastic and have it in that plastic insert, because this is a pocket page insert from Traveller's from the Stamp Spot. But I decided that the stitching was so nice to touch and to see in its entirety. I didn't want it behind the plastic and be, not interactive and not be able to see in its full glory. So instead I'm going to put the photo on that side, pulled out the 6x8 papers to see if that was going to work, and it was just too much because the ombre of the happy in the background isn't the same as the 6x8 paper, of course. And instead I'm going to go with some white cardstock. Now I seeing this little frame, card here on the cutter parts from the 6x8 paper pack, and I thought that I'd lay this behind, but then I realised it looked really much nicer on top. So pull it away from the insert because I realised, I am using papers and I don't need my insert to work with at the moment. I work on the pages, then I will stick them in. I'm going to write birthday, and I had to write it out to work out what the middle letters were so that I could center them on the page. So if you work from the middle out when you're writing a word, then you can center it a lot better. I was going to write happy birthday or birthday under each of the happy with these small thickers. That was my plan as I was stitching and I looked over at the kit. And then I quickly realised that the colours were the wrong colours. I didn't want to bring in a million colours. And instead I went with these little black ones that are sort of like a matte black, so they don't, stand out as glossy and, wild, I guess, on this layout, because the photo is cardstock, so it's not, it's not like a normal photo looking kind of gloss. So went with the centering and then realised I didn't want it. I wanted it to the side, and I'm only going to write the one birthday, so it's going to be happy, 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 happy birthday. And that's going to be the left side done. I did not want to add anything else. I didn't want to ruin the appeal of the stitching. I'd spent a lot of time, but also it's like the focal point of the whole spread. So I'm going to work on the right side now, starting by gluing down the photo and then gluing down those little photo corners that I'd made with that card. And I've zoomed in, so hopefully let me know. I've zoomed in and out when I've been editing on the software so that you could see different parts in different ways. Especially like with the stitching, I figured you'd like to see it up close rather than trying to put on your binoculars so you could see what I was doing. And here I've zoomed in so that you could see the whole page of both of them rather than them being the white space in the background and having the pages just small in the middle of the frame. Anyway, that's just something I was playing with, and hopefully that was something that makes it a bit more enticing and better to watch the process video. So I'm just having a play now with embellishing. I didn't want to go too heavy and I didn't want to go too chunky either because it is an insert. I've done over half of the insert. I did a live stream on Friday night over in the subscribers group. So if you are a subscriber to Kitaholic Kits, you not only get your kits each month once you've paid, because you are guaranteed with your subscription what you've ordered, but you also then get subscriber cut files. You also then get subscriber exclusive printables that are normally Project Life cards, but this month I made Project Life cards, solid Project Life card colours, and then also Traveller's Notebook page, like Traveller's Notebook sizes to be printed. And then you also get lots of extra little goodies in terms of the design team will do little videos, little lives in the channel, in the group. We also do lives over in the community group as well, but not always. So check us out. There's 3 different groups. There's the Kitaholic group on Facebook. There's a Kitaholic community group, and then there's also the subscribers group if you are a subscriber of the kits. So there's definitely more than meets the eye. Definitely check out the unboxing as well, because even though we have a reveal each month, there's always little surprises in the kits that we get once we open them. So we all, most of us or all of us tend to do unboxings over on our channels. So definitely check us out and check out our YouTube channels for exclusive videos, but also our unboxings every month to see our first reactions and all the goodies that we get. Check us out and join our reveals. It's always the last day of the month or the first day of the month, depending on how the week is going. But the reveal becomes an event every month that Steph puts up. So join us for that fun night and all the other goodness that goes on Facebook. Anyway, I have worked with the hearts up the top, and I'm working with some tiny words mostly down the bottom. So I've got that clear sticker up the top that starts as the base of my cluster, and then I wasn't planning to do hearts, but that's what ended up. So I put another clear sticker of that blue outline heart, and then I've got a die cut ephemera piece of a pink heart. And down the bottom I've used a die cut ephemera phrase word and then a sticker word with those little puffy thickers that are from Vicky Bouton. They've got these lovely little hearts and crosses and those kind of sprinkly things that you can put on your page. So I'm going to put one up there as a heart up the top, and then a heart and a cross down the bottom. And then I yank out the enamel dots that we got from Chamel's collection. So it's going to end it off really nicely and just have those little things that can draw your eyes to the side of the photo. I've tried some enamel dots up there, but it didn't need it up there, that's for sure. I did try earlier to put a phrase up there as well, but I didn't want to cover over the hearts too much. So I actually really like the way the hearts are just in a line. Now I was going to do a doodly border to extend it and then realised that I didn't want to do it in black. So I brought out my pink gel pen. It's just like the Signo white pens that we all get. I get them from Officeworks here in Australia. They've got lovely pens that you can have a play and look at before you even purchase them. And that's going to finish that off. And I'm just going to stick it into the book now. So you can see the pocket page means I can slip this one just in. Also, the pocket page notebook means that you can do a variety of things because you have that little pocket between the papers. And I'm just going to use double-sided tape. I didn't want to use wet glue because it will warp the paper, but I'm just outlining or putting, double-sided tape around the edge and then 2 big strips down the middle. Then I peel it all back and I'll let you see me stick it down and see how easy it was. You just stick from the side and then through to the middle, push it down. And so those binder clips are really nice to hold open your book. Sequin pocket was getting in the way. And I was just wondering if these paint swatches needed to go on there, but they didn't. And this is the end product. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.